Hello viewers, our today's guest in the Talk with the Expert series is a very special man. He is a man behind the iconic blue color of Tata Nexon EV. Do you remember the old Horlicks bottle design, the elephant design? He is the brain behind that. And even the current cool Cheetah scooter, the electric scooter, he is the brain behind that design also. So I introduce to you Mr. Shashwath Bolar, the head of color and graphics team of Bajaj Auto, to the interview. Shashwath, welcome to the interview.
Thank you very much, Sabin.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic.
Okay, so let's start with the interview. And my first question is about, currently you are living the world of beautiful automobile design, the colors, the trim. And to our viewers, can you explain what exactly you are doing in Bajaj Auto?
Yeah, so I head the color and graphics part of the styling studio. So basically for any vehicle you make or any mass produced industrial good you take, color, material, finish or color and graphics as it's known plays a very important role in terms of the company's strategy.
Okay.
And so it is every part of the vehicle has certain colors, it has got a certain kind of material, certain kind of finish, that's a surface quality, and also graphics. So based on which part of the world you sell, you need to have a certain kind of story. And this is where color and graphics plays a big role in telling that story.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the job.
And currently you are working as the head of that team, right?
Yes,
Color
that's right.
team and...
Yeah, CMF, color, material, finish and graphics.
Exactly. That's amazing to hear. And so I understand the very first job was a zero salary job at Tata Lexi as an intern. Then over maybe more than a decade, you became a head of a very important team in Bajaj Auto. Am I right?
Right.
So, what do you think about this journey? Can you elaborate what happened in all these years?
So yeah, I had done my mechanical engineering, and on campus I was placed at Delphi Automotive Systems, and it was an engineering job, but I always had this craving for the field of aesthetics, the field of art and design. And and this was back in 2004 and 5, and no matter whom I mailed globally to design universities, they said until and unless you don't have a degree in design or an experience in design, there's no way you can pursue masters in design. So I had to leave my well-paying Delphi job, and I participated in some design competitions, the Mahindra Scorpio design competition, where they had given a Lego chassis and you had to build the futuristic Scorpio. So I was in the top 10, and that gave me some confidence. And with that and few sketches, I knocked on the doors of Tata Elxsi, and because they were one of the few studios in India at that time who were into automotive design and industrial design as such. And my experience in Tata Elxsi helped me build my portfolio. A portfolio is a group of projects what you've done, which shows your talent in 2D sketching, 3D modeling, and things like that. So that played a key role in getting me a seat in Coventry University in the UK. So over there I studied MA Automotive Design. So again, remember, I'm shifting my field from pure engineering to the field of industrial design. So it was a big shift, and I absolutely enjoyed my experience because we had design faculty who have experienced in the field of automotive design. They were practicing designers coming from Jaguar and Land Rover and things like that. So we learned sketching, we did clay modeling, which is the automotive world's way of designing vehicles. And after that, a couple of jobs at design stores in Austria, followed with a job as a lead designer in Nissan Ashok Leyland in Chennai in Japan, and then Tata Motors for about 5 years in Tata Motors India and Tata Motors UK, and the last 5 years at Bajaj. So it's been a long journey, but I absolutely cherished my journey.
That's crazy, Shaswath, because you abandoned your well-paying job at Delphi and took a job with no salary, right?
Yeah.
Just to build your portfolio.
Yeah.
And this portfolio helped in getting admission Coventry University.
That's right.
That's absolutely amazing to hear. Okay, so according to you, so I can understand that this is not an easy journey.
Sure.
You show some qualities or philosophies in your mind or life so that you can stick to achieve the dream you want to achieve.
Yeah.
So according to you, which quality of viewers made what you're today?
So I think there are three things. One is the desire You need to know what you really desire, what makes you really happy, what makes your life meaningful. The second thing is the curiosity to follow, to learn about the field, about the the future journey, understand people who are already in that kind of role. And the third thing is the actual work of doing your projects, using your knowledge into putting your knowledge into action. So again, desire is the heart, the knowledge is the head, and the action is the hand. So it is 3H philosophy, if you can call it like that. It's the heart, the head, and the hand. So I constantly followed that and pursued it. So I think more than passion, it is also tenacity and resilience.
Okay.
Because it's easy to be passionate. Somebody can love biryani and just keep eating biryani. It's not enough if you're passionate. You need to have the tenacity to follow it. Success or failure, you have to be at it. You have to show up every day. You can't just work when you're happy, when you're in the good mood. You need to work every single day on your dream or passion. And I think that's what helped me reach where I am today.
Exactly. Anyway, Shasha, the admission in Coventry University for your design course, that was a turning point in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
How easy was the admission? It was just about building portfolio, submitting it there, or many rounds there?
So it was very challenging because when I first approached Coventry University, I said I'm passionate about car design. I do some sketches, and they kind of discouraged me, saying that you'd rather do a MSc in automotive engineering. But I was very persistent. So I took a year or two, and kept on studying. And I'm grateful to Google.
Okay.
These were times when Google was there. I could Google the field, learn about different designers, learn about different design schools. So it wasn't straightforward. Everyone spoke about the portfolio. And unlike now, back in mid 2000s, there was not much information. So I would mail the tutors in different design schools and I'd try to understand what the requirement actually is. Mail students who were studying design, and that knowledge I kept on refining. And so it was not just the portfolio. I had to show that I am good at sketching. I had to learn Photoshop. I had to learn 3D modeling tools like Alias Auto Studio and things like that. And they saw that kind of resilience in me. And that was followed up. A portfolio was followed up by an interview. They saw the grit and determination, and that's how I could crack it.
So in this whole process, I think the portfolio is the most important thing, right?
Yeah, and also the experience and exposure to a fully functional design studio, because Tata Elxsi was probably one of the best design studio that time. So my interaction with people from Coventry University, the alumni of Coventry, IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi, NID, Rhode Island School of Design. So I'm looking at designers who have been through this journey, and I think that is the most valuable lesson. That's the greatest takeaway, I would say. And anybody out there who wants to get into a new field, who wants to be a leader, a thought leader in a new field, they should be brave enough to do multiple internships in their 20s, because life just gets more complex, more harder, more responsibilities as you grow older. But 20s is a time when you can actually take those risks in life, and I'm grateful I had the guts to do that. So
when you're young, go for the
just go for it. Go for it. Don't feel shy.
30 or 40 kids and wants to take it, then it's not possible at all.
Yeah.
Right. And you had an amazing life in Tata Elxsi, I guess, because that portfolio is amazing.
Yeah.
You got an admission based on that.
True.
So can you tell one or two works that you did in Tata Elxsi as an intern that is still you are proud of?
Yeah. So the great thing about Tata Elxsi was it was a multidisciplinary studio. When you say a multidisciplinary studio, you have projects ranging all the way from UI UX design, automotive design, package design, graphic design, communication design, a whole plethora of design fields, right? Okay. And what they do is they, whenever there's a brainstorming session, they call all the designers, they come into a room, and just a 1 hour session, you quickly do your sketches, put your ideas, and that's how they collect, amazing variety of ideas. So one such competition was the Horlicks bottle. Horlicks was of course a well-known brand in India. They wanted to do something for young kids, because young kids were not drinking Horlicks. They wanted to make the packaging attractive. So I had given 2 ideas. One was that of a baby lion, like a cub lion, and that of a baby elephant. And luckily, out of all the designers, 2 of my ideas got selected. And of course, it was not just me. The senior designers gave a proper shape to it, proper colors, and that went on to become a bestseller. And long story short, it became an iconic package design.
Amazing, and I hope all our viewers are remembering, still remember that bottle, the elephant bottle and the baby lion bottle. They are amazingly cute and wonderful. Are they still in the market, those are bottles?
No, they moved on from there.
Okay.
But yeah, I did collect some of them when they were out in the market.
You can still Google it and see the images, and we will add those images here for your reference. Shaswath, the degree from the Coventry University could be expensive.
Yeah.
So I wonder, how did you manage that? Are you from a wealthy family, or did you get some kind of scholarship?
The first thing I did was, once I got to know what are the courses I wanted to apply, I made like a matrix of the courses. One column for the tuition fees, one column for the living expense in that particular country, the prospects of getting good jobs once you finish this course, and how good the alumni is performing. So I did a kind of matrix of all the universities where I'm applying, because if you're applying for MS or master's degree abroad or wherever it could be, you can't just rely on one university, because what happens if you don't get? So you need to have a backup. So I had done all my research, and Coventry, compared to most other universities, were also kind of affordable, because car design is a very niche field, and the courses at Royal College of Art London or Art Center in Pasadena in California can cost you the north of 1 crore. It's really, really expensive. So Coventry was expensive, but still kind of doable. So it was a combination of a few scholarships, support from my parents, support from my sister, which made it possible. But I think, again, I was probably more immature at that time.
Okay.
But I would really encourage students to understand the financial aspect more, to have a conversation with their parents. Is it a burden on the family? What is the loan structure? What is the interest rates on loan? So study all these things. It's not just the subject. You need to have the whole understanding of how much your course is going to cost. So, and to answer your question, no, I didn't come from a well-off family. I came from probably a lower middle class family, but my mother was highly educated. She was a PhD. And so she was very, my sister had done her MS from the US. So education was a big thing in our family. So I knew that eventually I'll make the money, and it was time to take some risks. So my mother and fathers, they supported me. My sister took up the living expenses, and I had applied for a couple of scholarships, and I was lucky to have got the Jane Tata scholarship for higher education abroad. So I think every year 50 or 60 of them get the Jane Tata scholarship. So that helped me. Then I also got the Coventry University post-graduation scholarship. So as a takeaway from this, be aware of all the scholarships out there in India who can help you study abroad. And it's going to be very competitive, because a lot of students are going to apply. So it's typically, the process is, you write a few essays, you write your SOP, that statement of purpose, why you want to get the scholarship, why you're studying, what's your core, why this particular subject, what drives you. And then that's followed with interviews. And if you convince the jury, you get the scholarship. So it's a long journey. And of course, I took a SBI loan, and I ended up paying double of that because the interests are high. But looking back, I'm glad I did all that. It's absolutely worth it.
Cool. So I think most of the students are not aware about this fact, right?
Yeah.
There are scholarships available in India.
Yeah.
And even a foreign university supporting giving scholarship to an Indian guy.
Yeah.
That's quite amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned about portfolio building, and your admission was mainly based on your portfolio. Am I right?
Yeah.
But the trend I am seeing nowadays among Indian students is that when they want a MS degree, they completely focus on GRE or foreign language study. And for me, it's looking quite illogical, because you are applying a well-reputed university and expecting a seat based based on an aptitude test. For me, it's looking very illogical. So, what's your advice to them, especially the engineering students? Should they focus on projects or on a GRE alone?
The thing is, an admission abroad is like a package. You can't be just good at one thing. You need to understand the entire package. But when I say package, it is what field of interest you apply. It could be, if it's going to the US, it is GRE. And if it's you're going to do an MBA abroad, it's going to be about GMAT. Okay. If it's UK or Australia, again, English language credibility, be it PTE or TOEFL, things like that. So it's a combination of things, and SOPs and recommendation letters. So, but the starting point, I would say, is understand what is the subject you're really interested in. If you're just going to do a generic course, you may not be a thought leader. You won't be inventing anything new. It would be run of the mill. But if you're going to be combining two different fields, maybe mechanical and medical, or mechanical and electronics, like mechatronics or robotics, or anything which is just at the the edge of technology, or something which really you're passionate, I think you need to find out that first. What is your area of interest, what really drives you. A lot of students are not doing that because it's the peer pressure, it's the pressure from the society, pressure from their classmates and colleagues. So everyone's going to the US, let me also go, jumping in that bandwagon. I think you need to take a step, pause and introspect. What is that makes me happy? What is that makes my life more fun? And because you're going to spend a huge part of your life at the job, or your own business or a company, you'd rather be happy doing it and being a thought leader. So I think first know yourself, and all those requirements are a prerequisite, but that should not be the main purpose. GRE and TOEFL and GMAT should not be the number one goal. The number one goal is find the right kind of courses, and the right kind of university, and the right kind of country which suits your your taste or your background.
Perfect. And Shaswath, this is about corporate life growth. And in your case, you started just as intern, and you are now heading one of the most important teams of Bajaj Auto. So, and you know how to climb a corporate ladder. I have already experienced that with more than 13, 14 years. So what's the advice you can give to our youngsters, young engineers who want to climb the ladders of corporate life?
The number one most important thing is to be very good at your work. You have to be very good at your work. No matter what project you do, you should try your best to do. Deliver more than what you promise. So I would say under promise, over deliver. That should be the mantra, rather than over promise and under deliver. That's one of the key mantras what my boss at my first job at Delphi had told me. So I try to follow that. And apart from that, you should always try to do much more than what is asked for. That's again, it depends on person to person, but I have kind of followed that. I've always tried to, propose new ideas and solutions to my superiors at work, and saying that, can I do this apart from my regular work? And that has always helped me, be it Leyland or Tata or even Bajaj. So your superiors, appreciate such things. So that can really help you. And you need to be respectful, you need to be kind, not just to your superiors but also your juniors. So I think that's one thing, the human aspect of end of the day, we're all human beings, not everyone's at the same level. You need to reach out to people, encourage people, inspire people. I think these are some human qualities. It's not just about winning the match, it's also about holding each other's hand.
So your basic mantra is under promise but over deliver. Surprise them always.
Yeah.
But corporate life is that sweet. Just be a nice man and you'll be able to climb the ladder, or some politics fights.
It happens everywhere, right? The moment there are 3 or more human beings in one team, politics creeps in, and but you should know that you're going to deliver every single day, no matter what happens. You are going to deliver, because every time your situations are not going to be sweet. There might be partiality, but why should somebody else's partiality affect your performance? It's like the mantra, you're a batsman, you go deliver. Good ball, good weather, bad weather. Your karma is to bat. So, you need to be a great batsman no matter what the weather is.
Okay. So these things can happen around you, but you should not get distracted with all these things.
Yeah, sure.
You should always over deliver.
And if it gets really bad, there are thousands of companies out there. Reach out to them, move on. No point being negative. That's one thing one should not do, because it's a downward spiral. You're negative, you're unhappy, and you just go down. That's the worst thing to happen.
Shashwath, even though you're a designer, from all this conversation, what I can understand, you are really good in human psychology. You have a small knack of reading other people's mind, what's going in their mind. So do you think this quality of yours helped you in achieving great height in corporate ladder?
I think, human psychology is something what I was really passionate right from childhood.
Okay.
So I have, there was one book, one quote which I read when I was very young, and it said, "Today's readers are tomorrow's leaders." So I've been a voracious reader all through. I've been a big fan of Harvard Business Review, and that has really helped me, to face the battles what I had to face. I've been a big fan of all the autobiographies of great people, Gandhi, Swami Vivekanand, Richard Branson, Steve Jobs, and all their lives was never easy, never simple.
Exactly.
And the human aspect plays a big role. So it comes from observation, human observation, empathy, understanding what other people go through. That's a very important thing. And acting according to that. So once you understand others, you can help them better, serve them better.
Amazing. So I'm done with all my questions, Shashwath, and this was an amazing interview. I learned a lot from your side, and I hope our viewers also enjoyed it. So do you have some fine advice or tips to give to our viewers or young engineers?
Yeah, I think India is going through an interesting change, and for 1,000 years, for the last 1 millennium, we have been attacked by a lot of foreign invaders. But people called India as the Soni ki chidiya, or the golden bird, and I think that time is coming back, because I strongly believe that 21st century is India's and China's century. It's Asia's century, and we have a big role to play. And I think there's this mantra called 5C, where the first thing, if you follow these 5 mantras, one could be quite successful in the 21st century. And the first C is the consciousness. If you're conscious about everything, people around you, how they feel, technology, the disruptions happening in the market, you're more tuned to act accordingly. The first C. The second C is collaborate. Those days have gone when you just focus on yourself and self. Today it's the world of collaboration. You need not be good at everything. Okay. There are so many people good at different skills, and we are all uniquely talented in our own ways. So it is important to collaborate with your friends and colleagues and family. The third C is communication. It is the day of social networking. It is the ideas about LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram. Put your ideas out there. Share it with the world. So the third C is communicate. The fourth C is about creativity. Those days have gone when one particular approach would be enough. Today, there are so many variables. There are so many changes happening in the world. You need to be constantly creative. So the fourth C is about being creative. And finally, the fifth C is about community, because, we can't lead selfish lives. We should live lives for others, for the larger purpose, for the larger sense of community. And if you follow these 5 C's, I think you can do wonders in the 21st century. So I'll say the 5 C's. The first one is consciousness. The second one is collaboration. The third one is communication. The fourth one is creativity. And fifth one is community. So these 5 C's can really help you in the 21st century.
Yeah, that's amazing, Shashwath. So always keep these 5 C's in your mind. And one last question. Now our automobile industry is going through a big revolution, mainly because of advanced electric vehicles.
Yeah.
And what's your prediction, Shailesh? Can you predict something after 10 years? This could be the style of automobile design, something like that?
The big idea of the 20th century was about mass production. Ford Model T revolutionized this whole world of mass production, right? One big idea, mass production, and we are still using that idea. But if you look at the 21st century, which changed everything, which changed in a large scale, is the smartphone, right? What Steve Jobs did with his iPod and, the Apple phone, that revolutionized the world. And what did that do? What it did was mass customization. It gave you a platform to customize the apps, the colors, the screensavers according to your unique taste. There are no two people in the world who have the same wallpaper or the same number of apps. You'll agree with me, Sabin.
Exactly.
So now that's going to come on to other products. The automobile is going to be changed. It cannot remain the mass produced way. It has to become mass customizable.
Okay.
And I think that's the big idea. And will give you that great flexibility because there's 3D printing, there's new technology. The amount of vibrations what an IC engine gives as opposed to an EV. EV gives less number of vibration, which means you will be able to fix in different kinds of modules, customize it the way you want. A scooter, you want a motorcycle, you want a car. Eventually, that's where the world is headed. The automotive world is headed towards mass customization. That's what I feel. And I think that's the big idea of the 21st century.
Okay, so Shashwath's prediction is a customizable car or motorbike.
Or a vehicle.
Similar to our mobile phones.
Yeah.
That's a pretty amazing prediction, and let's hope that it come true very soon. So Shashwath, thank you for coming to our interview, and I wish you all the success for the future.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks
and
a lot.
I wish a lot of success for Lessix. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Bye. Bye viewers. Bye bye.